ahead and talk about what's at the bottom of this agenda. Look, they didn't even make it to the summary. Is cocktails with queens. Y'all keep wanting me to talk about them counseling cocktails with queens from Flop Soul. And I'm like, I ain't never even watched the show. I only saw it when somebody like the neighborhood talk or somebody posted when they was like making fun of Nene that time when Vivica Fox started talking about Nene was on crack and doing all this stuff. And then when colorist Claudia be crying about being biracial, like that's the only time I've seen it when y'all be sending me these clips and stuff. So I never really even cared. However, comma, y'all wanted me to talk about it because this is y'all's show. Shout out to my Patreon squad. And apparently, there's some changes going on over there at Flop Soul. Now, I did a little digging, I did a little research, okay. And the person who actually benefited during the Black Lives Matter movement back then, in the Panini, you remember when George Floyd was murdered by that police officer who put his knee on his neck, and all these companies were scrambling, saying they was gonna commit to diversity. They was gonna put all these billions and millions of dollars into diversity and helping all the black people because they understand systemic racism is real and the unfair treatment of black people is real. Well, Fox News Network was one of them people who decided to put money into, a black segment of their network. Like, listen, they don't really even like y'all over there because they got sued for a whole bunch of money for discriminatory practices. And yeah, so they was just trying to cover their ass. So they put the money over into Flop Soul. Okay. They hired James Dubose, who was over the app. And none of y'all don't even know what the app is. Okay, y'all watching on the YouTube. Y'all watching on the YouTube. Thank you, Terry. Okay, y'all watching on the YouTube. So they had an app. Then they were saying they was on all these TV channels and stuff, and they never made it to TV. I mean, who is on are they on the TV or are they on the YouTube that y'all stream to y'all TV? See, there's a difference. Because if they on TV, I'm on TV too. But I know I'm digressing. In the hell, y'all understand what I'm saying? Okay, where y'all at? Let me see what y'all saying. Okay, yes, petty humans, please. Prince is saying they should did. Okay. Well, okay, now they started colorist Claudia went to her good friend James Dubose with ideas. Okay, I'm giving y'all a little background before I get into the tea. Okay, she went to a good friend James Dubose with with some ideas for some shows for this network because originally they was in a studio and all that, and then the pandemic, the panini happened, and they had to get out the studio. They had to do something. Okay, everybody was at home. What they gonna do? So what did she do? She follows Nene everywhere. She follows Nene everywhere. And Nene was online having cocktails with Tamar. Nene was online having cocktails with the attorney talking about her lawsuit and how she wanted to file. Nene had cocktails and conversations. Nene had Greg. Y'all remember Nene and Greg did cocktails and conversations. They would talk about their open relationship. And next thing you know, colorist Claudia goes and says, we want a show called Cocktails with the Queens. I get, some of my friends on and we could sit around and we could talk to people because then, a lot of people be talking about us. So we can get online and we can talk about them. We're gonna flip it because colorist Claudia, she can't stand for nobody to say nothing about her. Okay, but she can sit around and talk about everybody. But I'm digressing again. So, they went she picked the show. They did that. They all in their little Zoom meetings and everything. It was Vivica Fox and what's the other lady named lisaraye and Selena and colorist Claudia. Okay, so none of them even knew how to work the internet. None of them even knew how to stream. Okay, so they needed, Flop Soul behind them to help them learn how to work their computers and stuff. And that's what they did, during the pandemic. And they came up and they sat around, they talked about people, they went viral by, trying to drag people. You got Vivica and her connection with, 50 Cent. And she always was pining over here. You got Claudia and her biracial identities problems and people dragging her about that. You got lisaraye saying colorist things about people with nappy hair. You got all these problematic quasi black women in one place. So I guess it served its purpose for what it did. Okay. But then she had another idea. She stole another idea from Nene. Okay, y'all remember Nene came online and she brought all her gay guy friends at the Lanithia, and she said, "I'm gonna do a show. I'm gonna have a bunch of gay men that can read, and we is gonna read social commentary, and that is what we gonna do." And she, streamed it with her phone. She got her assistant to stream it with her phone and put it on the Instagrams. That was mistake number one, but she knows that now. That was mistake number one, because your haters are always lurking and they are always taking notes. Okay. So she got online and she had all her people. She had Nene was saying, we are the Reeds.
Hi, it's your girl, Nene Leakes. And I know you've heard me talking about the read session, honey. Yes. Well, I found my readers, honey, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to be talking about all the hot topics, honey. We are a live reading blog, okay? Welcome to the read session.
Okay, we are the read session. What's next? And she had one person saying whatever, had another person saying whatever. Yes, the read session. Y'all remember the read session? Okay. Next thing you know, yes, a black adjacent woman, honey. The black adjacent woman, colorist Claudia, goes to James DuBose and say, "I got an idea for a show. Something that can bring people to the network. Since we are streaming on YouTube, you know what we should do? We should get a YouTuber named Junkie Dineva."
That Nene Leakes' The Reading Session is just the biggest gay appropriation fail of the 21st century. You are trying to centralize the show around a theme that rests in a community that you are not even a part of.
And he just read Nene Leakes for the read session.
I'm going to give my read, and then I'm going to give Vanna White. And then the camera, the iPhone 7, is going to pan to the next person.
Your host and comedian, Funky Dineva.
See, get it funky.
I thought a high bitch said something.
What we should do, we should get him and our good friend Al Reynolds, and we should do a show called Tea-GIF, and we can read people like Nene was trying to read people. But see, I have a platform. I have you behind me. She doesn't have that. I want to see her fail because I didn't like her on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So what does she do? She creates this show with a YouTuber on YouTube, takes his platform, puts it on another platform, and builds up Flopso, who that is owned and run by racist ass Rupert Murdoch. Okay, y'all remember Tucker Carlson and all them on the Fox News Network? All of that is under Fox, honey. Fox News, Flopso, all of it is the same thing. Y'all remember all this? I'm just saying, people to be acting like they don't remember. I'm just here to tell them, okay? Yes, Junkie Dineva, yes, he has said it was a stupid idea. He did a whole video saying that Nene Leakes was using the gays. But the reason he said that was because Nene didn't use him. But when colorist Claudia had the idea, that was good, because then all the enemies link up together. Colorist Claudia don't like Nene. Nene is my friend. Junkie Dineva don't like me. We're enemies. Let me call, Junkie Dineva, get him on board, and we can read Michelle and Nene and have us a good old time. Well, I'm just gonna congratulate them because now they are the only show on the network, because now that show that they stole from Nene exceeded the other show that they stole from Nene. And now the first show that she stole from Nene, they got booted off the network, and now it's just the other Flopso show, the Tea-GIF show. And so now that show got to hold up the whole network. Now, look, in light of all that, I know I done went all around the world just to tell y'all that the person who colorist Claudia pitched the shows to is no longer there. That's why a lot of these shows that you see are disappearing. There is a whole new general manager. There is a whole new executive that is over programming over there. This is some man, I don't even know his name, honey. My bad. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. I don't know what's going on. Yes, I was telling too much truth. You know, every time I start telling too much truth, the energy comes and shuts me down. But where were we? We was talking about Flop Soul and how they use Junkie Dineva to build a network. Now you got to give him credit because you know he built a whole YouTube channel by himself. But his dumb ass didn't think that that was pertinent. You know, he would rather make a check from somebody else than make his own check. You know, he would rather be on the clock for somebody else than be his own manager. You know, some people need structure, and I ain't mad at that. But okay, for all of you who are wondering what happened with the cocktails with the queens on Flop Soul, that is what happened. They weren't bringing in the numbers. None of them alone or collectively can bring in the YouTube numbers, okay, from, like a YouTuber, which is what Junkie Dineva was. Like any show on that network, none of those shows have numbers like the one show that has a YouTube on there because the show is primarily on YouTube. Now, if the show with Vivica Fox, lisaraye and Selena and all that was on a network per se, if it was actually on TV instead of opposed to being on YouTube that has a certain demographic, then they may have survived. But there's that. They got to do what they got to do to make the numbers, to make the numbers. They were too biased. Everyone is biased. That's the point of having a show, to be biased. Everyone has an opinion. Everybody's opinion is skewed. Hell, look at Fox News. They're skewed over here, and then CNN is skewed over here. So of course, everybody is biased. So there's that. But farewell so long to the cocktails with queens. And now I guess Flop Soul is going to capitalize off of their YouTube popularity by forcing the other show that Colorist Claudia stole, the Tea-GIF show, to go 5 days a week. So if you're wondering why there are certain changes going on over there, this is why. Here's his name. His name is thsi Babel. He is now the general manager of Flop Soul. Okay, so salute to him for taking James Dubose' job. He is also the general manager over at KRIV Houston. He said he will continue in that role as he has oversight of the streaming network. Oversight. Okay, so it says he's the senior VP and general manager over there in Houston. He's been named the general manager and head of programming at Fox Flop Soul. He succeeds James Dubose over there and continues running the Fox-owned TV stations. And he says, I'm excited about the opportunity to help grow Flop Soul into a brand that is reflective of the diversity within and that the African-American community can be proud of. The Black community is far from being homogenous, and Fox Soul will hope to serve as a vehicle for the greater good by recognizing those who may go unrecognized. We will constantly be refining and redeveloping this network to make it something the community loves. Of course, like I told you, since they're on YouTube, they're expanding to 5 nights a week with, Colorist Claudia and Junkie Dineva and Al Reynolds. Okay. Meanwhile, James Dubose, he put a little farewell note in here. He said, it's been one of my greatest highlights of my professional and personal life to have been able to lead such a talented group of people over at Flop Soul. But he gone. They kicked him to the curb. They kicked him to the curb. He gone. So, all y'all who thought that he owned the Flop Soul, now I'm telling you who owned Flop Soul. Rupert Murdoch, look it up, owns the Fox Television Network, which owns Fox Soul, which, anyway, we ain't gonna go there. But yeah, they have an agenda. They won't listen. You got Colorist Claudia over there trying to make all Black people hate white people, even though she half white herself. It's a whole mess over there. Exactly. What community is he speaking for?